Hello again. I have recorded myself painting again, and this is the title screen starting off where I left off today. I just want to show you guys a little bit more polish. You can see I'm trying to figure out something with the left-hand side, a little bit of background, and going through doing some overlap of kind of rock formations back there, and making sure to paint in depth, making sure to have good control of values. Also blocking in the central pillar, which kind of divides the left and right. I also went back to these stalactites on the right side, and I wanted them to kind of close off that section a little bit more to frame off. And then I'm just going through and doing a little bit more detailing on the area around the chest. You're going to see me go back in a second and render the chest, but first, going through, adding some water droplets there. Again, defining the form on that central pillar. You'll see me go back to that a couple times. This is pretty straightforward stuff. I'm just sampling from the values that are already down on the canvas, and then actually just drawing out. You can see me do a little bit of a shadow on the chest there, getting more specific with the lighting, softening up over here on the left side. Again, like things that aren't the focal point, it's good to use soft edges. For the lines, and you'll see me doing a little bit of mushroom and rim lighting on the stalactites, starting to define the rocks on the interior in a stylized manner, and that's something that I was kind of figuring out through this video. I'm also doing another little peaking of light coming through on the left side with maybe a little bit of like waterfall or sprinkles of water coming down through, just something to kind of make it feel mysterious and kind of secluded. And I find that doing lots of haze in the cave makes it it feels more, I guess, magical or whatever. So I tended to play that up. You'll see me go and kind of soften things. At this stage, I'm just painting over the chest, adding in some details, some construction details. I was just taking a look at some chest images, for treasure chest images online, and then just kind of working off those. But again, this is really straightforward, just going in, sampling the values already in the chest, making sure to identify the metal versus wood materials, making sure that the perspective is okay on the top lid. I kind of made a little U shape or saddle shape on the top. Going through and painting in highlights, redrawing a couple things. Here I flip the image. It's always good to remember to flip the image at a certain point and see if the perspective and everything is good, and it's good to kind of press the reset button on how the image looks. Now I'm going through detailing some of the rocks on the floor. In general, the focal point on this is going to be the treasure chest, so everything around the treasure chest should be a little bit more rendered, and as it tapers away from the treasure chest, it's a little bit less rendered. So you'll see me go through, and define the stone on the floor, some of the mushrooms here. I'm going through in the foreground, the framing elements, and defining that a little bit better. And then doing another pass on the chest just to get a little bit of the shiny banding of the metal, a little bit more of the wood grain and the materials. And I'm not overly concerned with rendering right now. Again, when we add color onto these, we're going to see that we're going to have to paint over the top, so it's probably best not to over render at this stage. And again, we'll see next week how that process works. Here I'm adding a little bit of bloom on a screen layer, just kind of adding a little bit more punch to the lighting. And then again, you're seeing me go back to the central pillar and kind of create the stylized rock shapes, and smoothing that out a little bit. And that should be about it. You're seeing me at the end add some color in. And all this is just overlay. Layer blending mode, and I found a piece of concept art online that I really like the color palette to, so I'm just painting in some color loosely to kind of get a rough palette going. But I'll save that for next class, and next class we're going to add color on top. Cool, thank you.